Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Nurul Shasha binti Samsul. My matric number is 275612.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Roma Zatul Rizwani binti Abdul Halim. My matric number is 275614.
My name is Eng Sijia. Metric number is 276964.
Hello, my name is Lau Joanne and my metric number is 277066.
Hi, my name is Mavis Lohiwan, number metric 277176.
Why our group choose restaurant to do the problem solving assignment? This is because in our group views, restaurants entrepreneurs are one of the most seriously affected industry. Among the pandemics, governments has restricted pupils' working range and closed all enterprises around Malaysia to control the COVID-19. This will make the entrepreneur of restaurant did not have customer dine-in and restaurants due to the MCO restrictions. Therefore, the enterprise's leader by Puan Roslina binti Ibrahim, the restaurant was established on 2015, while the location of the restaurants at Parsi Mas, Kelantan. Moreover, the restaurant's primary goal is to focus the quality of the foods and providing customers a comfortable place to enjoy their meals. In addition, the objective of this restaurant is to make sure that every customer would love their food and be satisfied after eating their food. The main issue that faced by the restaurants is lack of customer sources. The world countries was adopts prevention and control measures such as home isolations and extend holiday to avoid larger scale population movements and gathering. Although each customer cannot satisfy itself, there is probably a greater problem that the sluggish economies. A few negative online reviews of a new restaurant doubt that lures visitors. Therefore, the owners also realizes that majority of the customers is repeat and they just take away the food due to the insufficient seat in the restaurants. Usually, the customer will be most and weekends, but sometimes the number of customer service in the restaurants will be less than 10% each day, as discussed in the interviews.
I will explain about the factors of the issue. First of all is movement control order. To slow down the transmit power of the virus and improve social distancing, the government of Malaysia implemented a movement control order, which is MCO. Some of the most noticeable changes in the restaurant industry were recorded. Because of MCO, Rizki di Cafe have to limit their sales per day since the restaurant is only permitted to seat 2 people per table. Furthermore, operating hours have been restricted to the hours of 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Majority of the customers work from home and they tend to prepare their own meals. Other than that, the customers will feel trouble when they need to dine in the restaurant because they need to follow the strict hygiene practice and standard operating procedure, which is SOP. As a consequence, the restaurant has lost some of their regular customers and it's affect their sales. Second is high waiting times. Waiting time is a significant determinant that affect satisfaction of customer in the restaurant industry. Rizki di Cafe Gaulati has insufficient personnel to look after its customers due to the employee is responsible for multiple tasks such as take order from customer, serve the food to the table, clean the table and being a cashier. It will increase the wait time of the customers during the peak time of lunch or dinner. Besides, the employee most probably will become rude or arrogant if too busy in the restaurant. Hence, the action they would in the task will be slowed down. Moreover, because of COVID-19, customers have to wait to enter the restaurant because they reach their limit customers for a time. Third is restaurant interior and ambience. Rizky di Cafe Gaulati is an indoor restaurant that will let their customer to perceive their restaurant name. The interior should be able to build an emotional or experiential experience for the customer and let him return. A unique dining experience is just as much a visual appeal as a service level. However, Rizky di Cafe Gaulati have give their customer a bad impression because the floor plans, waiting station, bar setup and table layout were inefficient, which impeding server and client configuration. It is ideal to consult an architect who has experience in the restaurant before building the space but has still not made any progress in its restaurant. If a table and chair arrangement is incorrect, even the ideal room for a restaurant can be shorter. Also, since MCO need few customers to be sitting at the table, they don't have enough seating space and some of the tables are not in a good condition.
Thank you to my groupmate Ramaizatul Lizwani for the 3 factors lack of customer sources. Now, I will continue the last factor, that is high competition. A lot of local restaurants nowadays have a partnership with suppliers such as Uber Eats, Foodpanda, GrabFood and so on. But it is not happen to Rizky di Cafe Gaulati because they didn't have online or delivery service that can make customer satisfaction. In this situation, Rizky di Cafe might have a hard competition with other restaurants nearby them. Due to COVID-19, Rizky di Cafe also facing a supply shortage that affect the price of raw materials increase. Because of the price of raw materials increase, Rizky di Cafe also increased their price of the food in the menu and it's hard to control the price. That's make the customer not satisfied with the price at their restaurant and choose the other restaurant that cheaper than their price to buy the food. Next, I will present about the consequences lack of customer sources. The lack of customer sources in Rizky di Cafe has 4 consequences. First of all, one of the consequences is the revenue of the restaurant fall sharply. Rizky di Cafe Gaulati will face a shortage capital change because of customer demand. When the restaurant value decrease due to lower customer demand or a business cycle slow down, it may force the operating performance decline. Then, the outbreak of COVID-19 has affected the sales declines. So, the restaurant risks not to breaking even or seeing very low profit margins and standards of protection. In short, net income would be affected by any drop in sales. Next, the consequences of the main issue is difficulty in cash backflow. Rizky di Cafe face a huge challenges which gradually fall into a cash flow shortage as difficulties in returning funds. By following the strict hygiene practice and standard operating procedure SOP during the pandemic COVID-19, the company expenditure increased to pay for epidemic prevention related expenses. When costs rise, the company must decide whether to manage the extra expenses or transfer them onto the customer by increase the sold price. To keep the lights on, the restaurant will have to depend more on loans. If the situation does not improve, debts will begin to accumulate due to the cash flow and repayment capacity deteriorate. It will lead to the certain amount of bad debts or non-performing loans. Under this condition that open, it will be reducing profitability and restaurant value.
The third consequence of the main issue is decreased purchasing capacity of Rizky di Cafe Gaulati. The restaurant needs to raise financing needs, but the short-term liquidity is insufficient due to customer shortage. Limited funds to pay expenses may result from high manufacturing or purchasing costs of products planned for sale. Anyway, the supplier also may collect quota because the restaurant is unable to settle its credit accounts on schedule. As a result, the restaurant will be unable to sustain adequate stock amounts for its operations. This will make the restaurant ineffective and insufficient inventory controls to serve customers. They could miss out on business opportunities, lowering revenue even more. Lastly, the consequence of the main issue is leading Risky Di Cafe Gao Latte to bankruptcy. A reduction of profitability due to lack of customer sources is the main cause led to bankruptcy. The owner may have bank loans to cover the business. In spite of that, additional loans can be secured to keep the business solvent in the short run, but the restaurant's high leverage will make it more difficult to be productive because it must pay interest on the debt. Bankruptcy happens when the restaurant is unable to pay its employees, manage its inventory, and operate its business facilities, as well as pay its creditors. Consistent business losses can force the restaurant's owner to declare personal bankruptcy in order to leave the industry. Based on the main issue, there are some suggestions given to tackle the problems. First, suggestion to solve the issue is using direct marketing to promote Risky Di Cafe Gao Latte, which means we can carry out its promotional activities through social media channels. The owner can use social media like Facebook or Instagram to promote its food by posting the creativity picture of food and menu to attract the customers. Besides, the restaurant also can do the advertising in Facebook and Instagram because it can help to break into sight of the potential customers. This method can let the customers easier to find them. By using direct marketing, it can help attract more customers because we can change the perception of individuals. As we know, there are many factors can influence perception like motives and interests. It will let the customers has interests and motives visit the restaurant to enjoy the food after doing the promotional activities. Hence, this suggestion can effectively solve the problem of customer scarcity.
We know Risky Cafe has faced to a main problem that is lack of customer when operating their business. Based on this problem, there are some suggestions or recommendations to solve the problem. Next, Risky Cafe will lack a customer because of the high competition around the business place. There are many catering shops for the customer to choose. The suggestion to solve the problem of Risky Cafe is they can improve their customer service. A good customer service can help Risky Cafe to get more customers and overcome the high competitions. Employee motivation is necessary, like giving annual bonus for them as an incentive to motivate them to work hard in their job. When the employee is satisfied to their job, they will work hard and perform well, give the good service quality for our. Besides that, with a good service quality, the customer will come often to this cafe because they have a positive perception to this cafe, and this can solve the problem of lack of customer. Nowadays, due to the pandemic COVID-19, its catering shop, include Risky Cafe, also facing a serious problem, which is increasing raw material. Risky Cafes need to change some expensive food material into cheaper one. This cause customers unwilling come again and cause Risky Cafe lack of customer. The recommendation to overcome the problem of increasing material is strengthen the supply chain with food material supplier. The operator need a data system that can help and formulate a more precise demand based on past data, ground expectations, and sales planning. They need to determine cooperations with the supplier. Using big data can help the supplier to predict the price increase and trend in advance. They can adjust all the things in regard to the food material, optimizing the efficiency of supply chain and reducing unnecessary loss and waste can directly to lower the impact of rising food price or raw material in Risky Cafe. The last issue caused Risky Cafe lack of customer because they have time constraint in delivery food, and they are unable to serve more customers. Based on this problem, suggestion to solve is using online ordering method. This strategy can help Breezy Cafe to increase customer loyalty because they will feel it is convenience if they order and online. They will order more often. Additionally, restaurant can cooperate with a food company like Food Panda. It can help to deliver the food when customer place an order in online apps. It makes Breezy Cafe no need to worry about the food delivery and no time constraint for food. Save the time on delivery their food to somewhere far from the cafe. This strategy not only easier for the customer to place an order, but also can boost the growth of sales of the business without hiring more employee or extend Breezy Cafe to manage the ground. In brief, ordering online is suitable for Breezy Cafe. It can settle the problem well and efficient.
In conclusion, everyone knows, of course, that only customer create values. You can create all the product in the world. You can create all the inventory in the world. But if you do not have a customer, you do not have a business. The restaurants that our study was facing a big issue, which is lack of customer sources. As to these major problems, we can know that the issue is due to the COVID-19 epidemic in Malaysia. Moreover, the times for waiting for food to come is quickly longer, and this will influence customer satisfactions. The interiors and environments of restaurants are one of the factors that lead to the lack of customers. This is because nowadays people will prefer to eat or take pictures in a high-end indoor restaurants. The last factor is these restaurants has a high competition in the business area. Therefore, if the restaurants cannot solve the problems of customer shortages, it will bring them many consequences. The most obvious consequences that restaurants will face is that their income will drop significantly. If did not have consumptions in the restaurants, and this will make the restaurants did not have enough cash to cover the restaurant's daily expenses. In addition, the cash flows of the restaurants will be very low, and the purchase of the restaurants will be reduced. Ultimately, the restaurants will face bankruptcy problems. The suggestions that given by our group is the restaurants can draw in more customers through upload their favorite dishes in social media platforms. Next, improving the customer service can also help the restaurants increase the customer flows. The other suggestions that we suggest to the restaurants is to increase customers is to improve the communication with the suppliers, so the restaurants can have the low cost materials and the food can able to sell become cheap. The last suggestions is to use the online ordering methods effectively, since close cooperations with food transportation departments is very important during the pandemic. Lastly, we hope that the suggestions we make will assist this restaurant in resolving its customer shortages. Thank you.